Alright, folks, here's everything you need to know about the new coronavirus relief bill in under 3 minutes. Overall, the bill is $900 billion, making it significantly smaller than the $2.2 trillion CARES Act back in March. Starting with small business, $284 billion has been granted to the Paycheck Protection Program that we saw originally from the CARES Act. Eligibility has been expanded to include nonprofits and local newspapers, along with TVs and radio stations. Additionally, $15 billion of the PPP money is reserved for live venues, independent movie theaters, and cultural institutions. There is $20 billion for economic injury and disaster loans, $12 billion support to small lenders focused on low-income and minority communities, and finally $9 billion in assortment of other federal grants. Moving on to household and workers, $166 billion for $600 direct payment checks for every adult and child earning up to $75,000. If you're earning between $75,000 and $99,000, you get a gradually smaller check. The benefits cut out entirely for individuals earning over $99,000. $120 billion for enhanced unemployment benefits have been extended once again for jobless workers, who will receive up to $300 per week through March of 2021. This is a far cry from the $600 per week from the CARES Act. Oh yeah, and by the way, self-employed people and gig workers will also receive extended assistance. $25 billion to help families pay their rent. Also, the eviction moratorium is now in effect till January 31st, 2021. And finally, $13 billion has been granted to SNAP for food assistance. Now moving on to vaccines, $22.4 billion for testing, tracing, and other COVID-19 mitigation programs, $20 billion for procuring vaccines and therapeutics, $9 billion will go to the CDC and other states for further distribution of vaccines, and $3 billion is designated to the U.S. National Stockpile. Now into transportation, $16 billion for airlines to pay the salaries of workers and contractors, $14 billion for mass transit agencies, $10 billion for highways, $2 billion for airports, and $1 billion for Amtrak. Education will receive $82 billion in funding for schools and universities to assist with reopening. Of that, the bulk would go to a $54 billion fund for public schools, while $22 billion would go to public and private higher education. Agriculture will receive $13 billion for farmers and agriculture, and $13 billion will go to the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program. Childcare will receive $10 billion to help them safely reopen, and $7 billion has been earmarked for broadband access to increase access to broadband internet. This includes new emergency broadband benefits that will hopefully help millions of students, families, and unemployed workers afford the broadband they need to stay connected during these trying times. And also a fun fact, lawmakers also included a provision sought by Trump making the cost of a meal deductible as a business expense. And that is everything you need to know about Congress's new coronavirus relief bill in under 3 minutes.